All right, here we go again. Buckle up. So I'm operating on the cheap here. Just using my phones and their onboard mics. I mean, these aren't the worst phones in the world, so yeah, that's some quality, I guess. I just don't feel like carrying all that heavy gear. So again, I figured another piece of the puzzle out. The big temper an infection. It was neurological type of stuff. Getting pain all and arnica and went whoop, on the side. And I never would have had this happen. What you're doing is perfect. So again, when I explain things to the administration, when I explain things to the administration in here or out there or whatever it is, again, it's the idea that I initially said again, as you notice, as Elon's like going into the background, some of that friction is reducing. Right. Trump, obviously you can't go in the background. It's like, you can't buy $20. You gotta talk to him. I say, look, that's not gonna work. Because what he's essentially saying is, suck up the inflation, sweet pea. Nah, he would not win. I guarantee it. Right. That's why Harris. Well, she's running for governor too. That's why she's making her move. Though. She knows he's down. Now they don't feel like everything's better. Again, it's probably the best time to do it before everything crashes completely. My neighbor girl, she's a young girl. She got a new vehicle. Looks nice. I gave her a compliment. So, like, when you're friendly to me, it pays off. Believe me, life has changed since here. Like really heavy people. Her parents are heavy. I've met them. I said hi to them, and all of a sudden, I know the signs of me being in somebody's life. I'm at, high protein diet. And she may not have any clue. It's okay. I don't require payment, right? But I'm still that guy that people talk about on the internet. Roddy, I don't know, they messed up my broadcast. But so all people on the planet, I'm still that guy that's in the YouTube videos where they say, so vehicle. Like I'm supposed to be a billionaire, so like if they wouldn't like directly curse me, right, I'd have something. No, I've done so much work inside and out. Right. Well, my stuff goes places. So thinner. So I might have to actually make it myself. You know, just get some. Well, something said I should thin the sauce that I'm buying, but I said you could even just take a little olive oil. That's weepy, you know, and now they're perfect. But make sure you put them like in the freezer or wrap them in something because the wrapper comes with like a sticky side where you can just the wrapper that it comes in where you can just stick it back together. But my pizza crust was actually kind of stiff. Triggered from like the cranial tissue could be triggering some of the stuff below, and then I can never block from this also. When I was at that medical practice, like an urgent care, but they see patients. So I went in there and I also did. I wasn't getting my blips. Like I got my blip then in Santa. Like it's like every time I went somewhere, it was believe me, the cops are involved in all this nonsense. So I come here. All right. But yeah, so the woman that worked at UPS, she's just like a role player. Every time I go in, she do something. And a UPS, if you look, it's a part of an operation to make the victim paranoid, right? And it would say more and all that stuff. And I kind of just blew it off, right? You really can blow it off until they cause a lot of physical disability. Then it really, I mean, I had physical disability, but it was beyond a certain point, and they weren't testing me. So she's like a drug user, most likely, and she's trying to cut me with this guy, right? I mean, it's all part of the psyop. Oh, what's going on now? Hacking me. All right, how are we doing now? Microphone, yeah, there it goes. So there's this woman with long hair, that a young woman, not young, I guess, middle-aged woman. She worked at UPS, but she was part of it, and it'd be every time it would be a new production, a new role play when I would go there. Sure, she was a drug user, but not sure. People that are affiliated with the acupuncturist, right? And I had my family doctor in that practice. So it was working out pretty good in the beginning, and then the deep state moved, and like the acupuncturist like wouldn't be near me when we were walking. You know, she's hinting that something was up, right? So anyway, and again, a cop mate came in and told her, tell us everything, right? Freaking her out. So I was going to massage this, and I'd be out front, like waiting, a few minutes for, it was closer to my massage. I get there early. The woman from UPS will walk past with her phone and be like looking at me and walking past. So she got my attention like the first time I got in there because she's a good looking woman, I guess. I'd be lucky to be with someone like that. And as soon as I got with her, but as soon as they hook worked, I'll just guy. That's kind of like the cuck master thing. Like there was a trans woman, but she was like a tall blonde, like you would see like a model kind of deal, or maybe even a porn movie type. Probably was. What I understood, what part of it was, again, it wasn't all of it, was to make me gay, and then get that was their goal, like a porn video of me being gay. That's what I understand. Part of it was. I think you get like $1 million if you do. And they're wheeling stuff up around it and everything. But again, they're also depleting you because you got to block that, and then they're bringing those young girls around on top of it. They keep hacking my browser closed. So this is their next attempt to try to make me trade this in for an iPhone. They want to break my bank. They're so mad because if I start paying my bill, you could feel it. Because I have enough money to pay everything off. New browser open.